All right, 6:02, we'll call this meeting to order. If you all please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Call this meeting to order. If you all please stand and join me in the pledge.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Call this meeting to order. If you all please stand and join me in the pledge.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think it's okay to stop. Well, it stopped, so we can just,
He muted us, huh?
okay.
No, it's still, I know what it is. Hold on. Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right, well, welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Education for the month of April. We'll get right into things here. Any additions or deletions to the agenda, Mr. Rumsey? No, sir. Okay. Motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting on March 11th, 2021. Motion by Mrs. Yarden, seconded by Mr. Warren. Any discussion? All in favor? Carry 7-0. Motion to approve the minutes from the budget workshop on April 13th, 2021. Motion by Dr. Narby, second by Mrs. Rusak. Any discussion? All in favor? That carries 7-0. And then motion to approve the minutes from the workshop on April 15th, 2021. Motion by Mr. Ward, second by Mrs. Cleveland. All in favor? 7-0. Mr. Rumsey.
Okay, so first we'll start off by saying happy birthday to the board president who just turned 40 today. So congratulations on making that milestone.
Thank you.
Okay, wanted that on YouTube. All right, so.
You want to sing to you later?
Well, we'll pass on that. Also want to say happy Administrative Assistant Office Professional Secretary's Day to our ladies. Congratulations on everything you do, and thank you. Hit on a few positives here, and then we'll get into some of the guidelines that have just hit. But our fall sports is going very well. Fall 2 sports in the spring. The football team plays Leroy in the sectional semifinals this weekend, the Final Four. The cheer team won counties and done very, very well. The volleyball team's going on, and all our scholar athlete teams, which is awesome, absolutely awesome. Spring sports began this week as well, so we're got a lot of people, a lot of kids doing good things right now. This is what we needed. There's a senior trip on the agenda for the kids to go to Hershey. It's a minimized. They're not going flying to Florida, anything like that, but they're trying to do something here. There is an outdoor classroom going up next week on the playground up here and down at the softball fields, both of them. The big pavilions, but the one will be outdoor classroom funded through the Rotary and Kiwanis and the Saxton grant. And in the spring here, we have Turtle Beach going on. The schools always get involved with this, and it's there's a lot of good things going on around our community in the right direction. Kind of keep focusing on the positive so we don't get sucked into the weeds of the other stuff going on. The COVID piece is the guidelines come out here in the last week or so, last few days actually, that we've been trying to make sense of, with one being prom and ceremonies and such. Juniors and seniors are working on that for a date of May 15th. Graduation guidelines have come out. We have more information on that as we talk about sizes of ceremony, what the requirements would be, but we're shooting for outside on the football field on Friday night with a rain day to Saturday. We're just trying to get to the reopening plan right now, then we'll list the graduation piece. But the reopening piece now, the guidelines that we thought was gonna be a big positive was the 6 feet to 3 feet, with the expectation that you probably have to wear a face covering a little bit at 3 feet. Had some unpleasant guidance in there as well with the mask wearing anywhere at 6 feet. And we're still trying to figure that out, having lots of conversations. I was just texting Assemblyman Palmisano about it here just a few minutes before the meeting, working on some things there. But, you know, at the primary school and middle school, I think, you know, if we can go and reopen at 3 feet, we kind of expected that. It's where the high school is at. And we're stuck in limbo with the high school right now because of the county is listed as a high-risk county. So they can't reopen because they have to, the only way you can open is to be cohorting. And we can't do that at the high school level. So we're still hoping that that can come about, but obviously days are ticking by toward the end of the year. I have put the reopening plan in front of you. That's a very tentative one. It's the one that was presented to the admin team and put together. Randy's been the key element in that. That was presented to the Health and Safety Committee today. Not going to get into a lot of details other than, you know, general overviews and let you guys read it and let me know if there's questions. We get soliciting feedback from staff and the community. But the big thing is that we're, you know, we've got some tentative timelines there. You'll start hearing some robocalls going out and such now. Once the guidelines went out at 6 feet to 3 feet, you know, we're getting a lot of folks that want to, that need it. Their kids are struggling on the hybrid days, especially trying to get involved. And it's a whole social emotional piece with that. There's some challenges on the other side of it too, with kids that are enjoying the hybrid environment. But, you know, trying to figure out each way and how they can cohort each size with the desks in each classroom, the challenges of transportation, the challenges of eating lunch and breakfast. We're pretty much there, almost solved with the primary school and middle school. We just have to get all the right communications out that are required in the guidelines. So we'll be looking at, right after the state assessments, gearing towards wearing a mask if we have to still at that time, practicing a little bit, getting to that point of May 12th, and then riding it out to the end of the year. That gets us to the math assessments for both grades. And then if the high school changes, we've got a plan in place for that. But obviously, as it gets closer, we have to decide whether it's worth it or not at that point. Question? We're trying a lot of educational things with the admin team. Even talked to me today about, you know, putting a YouTube video together with all the details of what's going on behind all the details to put on our website so people can click on that rather than doing a Zoom session that some people could hit, some people can't. And obviously, as we get feedback, we'll keep updating our FAQs on the website and posting those around. But as you get questions, please, by all means, send them my way or give me a call anytime. There's a lot of challenges here. And once again, there's good and there's bad. The bad parts are we're going backwards in what we should be doing right now. It really is, it's struggling. Good parts, get our kids back in here. At 3 feet pretty much puts us at, it's measured from middle of the body to middle of the body, your belly button to belly button. So it's pretty much near rows like you were before. You just can't be in table settings and such.
All right, any questions? Thank you and your team for keeping on track with everything. This definitely has not been easy, I know.
Looking forward to getting back to normal. Gotta come sometime.
I just want to reiterate and happy Administrative Professionals Day, and thank you to Kelly for all you do in keeping us in line.
Absolutely, you're a hard group to corral.
So you've only got a couple meetings left here with us.
Calm down.
But we're also lucky to have Donna, who's going to be able to step in, and she's going to do a great job, so.
Yep. Had to bring a Marine in to take care of us.
No messing with
That's right. All right, on to district reports. Why don't we do the 2 and 3, and then we'll get into right to the budget. Any questions first, though, on anything that was submitted by the administrators? Motion to approve then the recommendations from the Committee on Special Education. Motion by Mr. Warren, second by Mrs. Yardum. Any questions? All in favor? That carries 7-0. Okay, Teresa, give us an update on the final budget here.
Yes. Our current number is 38,493,545. I pulled out the AIS positions that we had discussed, and those we will be putting in the new federal money. Hopefully the budget will be, the application will be out the 30th. I've also given you a copy of Kelly put in the packets, the three-part budget, which breaks it down into the administrative, the capital, and program areas. So you have that to review. The budget notice that will be mailed out to everybody, basically showing the amount of taxes is staying the same. If we have to go contingent budget, we would not be able to buy equipment unless it's considered a health and safety issue. So those items, all the equipment has been pulled out. That's where that budget number comes from. You also have the property tax cap report card that must be submitted to the comptroller's office. And what that basically does is it makes you aware of what we're using in our reserves. We're going to be using the ERS reserve and the TRS reserve. And we're going to be using what we have allocated for the expense. So we have that information. Other than that, everything is the same as we had talked. If anybody has any questions.
Any final questions?
Thank you for your patience, because this has been the strangest budget year ever.
Everybody good? Thank you guys, it's been great work getting it together. So many unknowns, it's been
I know,
tough.
and we'll be sending you probably emails if we do get the application to let you know that it's out. I don't believe that they will have it out April 30th, but we have our fingers crossed and hopefully.
Okay. Just one thing I want to make sure, with the recommendation on the fund balance, is that something we need to act on tonight, or are we doing that at the end of the year?
I have a memo for you,
Yeah.
just when you
Yeah.
get there, I wanted to remind you, we did set up the
Mhm.
tax cert reserve, and that's for the people that are grieving their taxes, if we have to, if they take it as far as they win the settlement, we would have to reimburse them, so to protect our budget, we would put any money that we have left in fund balance in that reserve, and then we can pull from that reserve, so it doesn't doesn't hit our general fund budget as, you know, a big dent. We still have a lot of them out there. And the other, recommendation that I have is we are allowed to put 2% into our TRS reserve, 2% of last year's salary, so I'm kind of, we used it last year, we used it this year as far as the revenue, so I would like to keep that funded. So that would be my first priority.
So this memo though is, we can do it at a future meeting here before the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
what I,
So this is more the awareness of what we're thinking. We'll finalize that and probably in May we'll do it.
Got
Good, Teresa, thank you.
all right, on to business. Is there a motion to approve the business consent agenda? Motion by Mrs. Cleveland, second by Mr. Ward. Any discussion? Questions? All in favor? That carries 7-0. And senior trip. So that was information on that proposals in your packet. We're looking to go to Hershey Park. Mr. Rumsey, is there anything specifically you wanted to highlight, or Mr. Young wanted to highlight?
Just that it's a work in progress here. Obviously, we sent that info out ahead of time because there's a lot of things they had to book into in prepping for it, the work that goes into it. The sign up I can't remember, I don't want to say exactly, but they're trying to bind it so that line of, once they hit 51, they have to get a different bus. So that's a good thing, but that 49.50 is the key moment of where the big expense jump, because a bus is a bus is a bus, so. But they're getting there. Trying to do, they made a lot of changes on the fly. I'm proud of them because there were so many restrictions of what they were allowed and not allowed to do just a couple of weeks ago. So that's why it's a limited piece. I feel bad for these kids because they really did well and worked hard all these 4 years, and now they have to settle a little bit.
I'm sure they're still gonna have a great time.
What we always tell them is it's a time together.
Yep. Take a motion then to approve the request for the senior trip to Hershey Park. Motion by Dr. Narby, second by Mr. Warren. Any discussion or further questions? All in favor? Carries 7-0. Definitely hope they have a great time.
Absolutely.
Okay, second reading on the changes for policy 5633 on the gender neutral bathroom. We've had the first reading, so this is the second one now where it will be formally adopted. I'll take a motion to adopt this policy. Motion by Mrs. Rusak, second by Mrs. Yarden. Any questions? Nothing changed since the.
This is the standard boilerplate legalese that we have to do.
All in favor? That carries 7-0.
I can do this back, I'm sorry. Motions for the, moved to second. Did you?
Rusak, Yardum.
Thank you.
Okay. Next in your packet was the administrative budget for GST BOCES. This is the one piece of their budget that we vote on. The rest fluctuates throughout the year. Correct? And I think we've looked at this in previous budget workshops. So take a motion then to approve the BOCES administrative budget. Motion by Mrs. Cleveland, second by Mr. Ward. Any discussion or questions?
The thing I'll add is I think this actually decreased since the budget workshop because they had some administrative movements that lowered salary. So
Okay. All in favor? Carries 7-0. And also, reason why we have to have this meeting here on this day is because all of BOCES components vote on their board, which there's 2 vacancies this year and there's 2 candidates.
it's like there's 3 vacancies and 2
Oh,
candidates.
okay. I guess I didn't read it that closely. Sorry about that. So I remember seeing it was
So right now we have Alice Learn, who's
and
a
Kathy
city board
Hagan.
member, and she's been on there from the Odessa Montour board, and she's a former administrator from Horseheads, I believe. And Kathy Hagan, who was the retiring superintendent from Campbell, was jumping in.
Anybody else want to volunteer for that?
And we have our member for this region that comes from our
Oh, that's
district is
right.
Mr. Wheeler, Bob Wheeler.
We can't have 2.
I don't think so. Probably try.
Okay. Motion to cast votes then for the 2 candidates. Learn and Hagenboom. Motion by Mr. Woolman, second by Mrs. Rusak. Questions? All in favor? Carry 7-0. Okay. Our budget vote. Take a motion then to approve the budget for the 2021-22 school year in the amount of $38,493,545, which keeps the tax levy flat. Motion by Mrs. Yarden, second by Dr. Narby. Any questions? This also includes the resolution, or we've already adopted the resolution for the bus purchase, which will also be on the ballot. And then, of course, the competitive election, Mr. Ward and I.
So we'll get the budget newsletter with this number upon approval and send that to you so you see that.
Again, great work, Teresa, and all your team and everybody for getting this together. It's definitely not been easy. So, great job. All in favor? Carries 7-0. Motion to approve the property tax report card that was also in your packets, which is just a summary really of the budget, the levy, and the reserves. Motion by Mrs. Cleveland, second by Mrs. Rusak. Any discussion there? All in favor? That carries 7-0. Also in your packets, we had the food service bid from GST BOCES. So ask for a motion to approve that. Motion by Mr. Warren. Second by Mrs. Jarman. Any questions? All in favor? That carries 7-0. Also in your packet were the names of the election inspectors for this year. Take a motion for their approval. Motion by Mr. Ward, second by Mrs. Cleveland. Any questions? Thank you, Kelly, for getting all that together.
Last time.
Speaking of that, sorry, real quick, everything's still gonna be back to normal regarding the vote and everything for this? Okay. Wasn't sure if there was gonna be any restrictions or not, like last year.
No, everything should be back, other than the COVID restrictions
Right,
and other
but-
procedures, those things.
But
there
still
won't
the
be
in-person
mailings.
vote and, okay.
We won't have to watch the green cards being counted.
Some riveting stuff, yeah.
Live TV and flashed.
But we appreciate the individuals volunteering. to do this.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, they do it year after year.
Yeah. All in favor? Carries 7-0. And then last business item is the recommendation to approve the contract from the district and the Haviland Teachers Association. So take a motion to approve. Motion by Mr. Warren, second by Mr. Ward. Any final questions or discussion? All in favor? Okay, it's carries 5-0 with one abstention. It's Dr. Narby. Okay. Thank you to Mike and Scott, and Joe and Teresa and our negotiating team. And still glad that everything is still very cordial and
Yep.
between both parties, and that's a good sign. So.
Yep. Back at it again.
Okay, personnel. Motion to approve the personnel consent agenda. Motion by Mrs. Cleveland. Second by Mr. Jardim. Any questions? All in favor? Carries 7-0. By the way, I'm sorry, it was 6-0 on that previous vote.
I was gonna get straight.
Just-
When you get, when you get to be 40. Everything goes to hell.
Okay, a couple more here. Non-instructional, we just have one resignation, and that was from Jennifer Miller as a teaching cleaner. Sorry. I don't have it in front of me. I got the name. Motion to approve resignation from Jennifer Miller. By Mrs. Rusak, second by Mrs. Cleveland. All in favor? Carries 7-0. And two instructional items. First is a resignation from Amy Orfanides as French teacher. So motion to approve that resignation. Motion by Dr. Narby, second by Mrs. Yardim. Any questions? All in favor? Carries 7-0.
She did a good job.
Yep, appreciate her coming aboard. And one retirement, and that is from Sandra Wheaton. He's been a long time teaching assistant for the district. And also did a lot of other extracurricular.
Yeah, the
activities too.
set designs have been extraordinary.
Mhm. So motion to approve the retirement of Sandra Wheaton. Motion by Mrs. Cleveland, second by Mr. Warren. Any discussion? All in favor? Carries 7-0, and we wish her the best on her retirement. She enjoys it, and just thank her for all her service and everything she's done for the district. So she'll be missed. All right, is there anything else for the good of the order for tonight?
Just wanted to note the time.
Oh, we did start a half hour.
We did have 2 meetings last week.
Yeah.
Reminder, right?
Tuesday, Thursday.
And we do have a public hearing coming.
That's great. We can get out early and enjoy the nice weather. Okay, motion to adjourn. Motion by Dr. Narby, second by Mr. Ward. All in favor? 7-0. And thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening.